Alright, we're going to be pausing and starting this video because I'm eating. Because if you've been following the last few videos, this has been the saga of me not yet eating. No, it hasn't. It's been about the games. The games have been great. So this is Game 6. Delial won Game 5 to take a 1-0 lead. The most fun games were probably Games 1, 2, and 5. Games 3 and 4 were just like very well played games, but not as exhilarating. And here, Akiyama has started with 4 6 3 6 and 1. He has multiple plus walls in 2 if he should ever need them. Though he doesn't particularly have any play against Deli's captures, so Deli has a lot of freedom here to go wherever he would like. Right? Because there's not immediate pressure against it. Where would he like? I have no idea. If you're gonna attack it immediately, you probably attack from 2, not 4, just because the recaptures in 4 are so solid. Though actually, they both have 7s facing out. So maybe you can go creative there. I don't know. What I meant by that is that both of Akiyama's recaptures in 2 have a 7 facing out that Akiyama cannot recapture. So if you force 2 2 7 6 in 2, maybe you can play 3 and the card in 2 is safe. If you force 2 7 4 6 in 2, maybe you can play 5 and the card in 2 is safe. So there is actually a case for attacking from 4. Anyways, we did not look at much here. I'm curious what happened. Deli went 7, and Akiyama played immensely quickly in 4, presumably. Alright. Now Deli still has captures in 2, so he has a whole bunch of L options. What's the most appealing L? I think in general, it's one that sets up a threat in 5. On the other hand, the most obvious move that does that, to my eyes, is something like 5 5 2 7 and 8, but that does not set up a threat in 5, right? That's not a real threat. Because if you land 5 1 7 5 and 5, you get comboed by 2 2 7 6 and 2, and you feel very sad. So, is there a way to set it up more functionally? Not necessarily. So, there's a choice between 8 and 2. And my instinct is 8. Maybe with 4 6 5 4. You have a good recapture in 9 if ever needed. Importantly, 7 5 2 5, though I guess you have 7 5 2 5 covered. So importantly, they don't have safety in 9. You have multiple recaptures in 5, at least one of which probably isn't comboed. For instance, 4 3 6 6 looks like it's comboed, but no same. So it isn't. So my instinct here is 4 6 5 4 and 8, but we'll see what Deli does. Important update, Deli has made this move in 8. And now Akiyama has a lot of options here, but I think fundamentally Deli should be attacking enough cards, right? Threats in 2, good recapture in 9, multiple recaptures in 5 if needed. That if I'm Akiyama here, I'm probably looking for ties. If Akiyama is Akiyama here, he's probably looking for wins in like 3 or 6 or something crazy, but that is just to say where I'd be at. Okay, what's happened now? Akiyama has gone in 5. Alright. So critical squares to go in are 2 and 9, but 3 is also always really worth checking just to make sure. Because if you have. Now, 3 is not going to work here, because even if you have a big combo set up for 6, Akiyama just needs to hold on to 2 2 7 6, and he combos through 8 to flip 5 and other stuff. So that is Akiyama's key point, is he has combo play in 9. So instinctively, block 9. But if you block 9, ooh, this is dangerous. If you block 9, Akiyama takes from 6, and 2 7 4 6 is a very good sweeper. So, okay, that leads us to 5 7 2 5 in 2. And that looks good enough. 5 7 2 5 and 2 makes it 6 4 Deli. If 2 2 7 6 and 3, then no captures are threatened. Deli wins with 4 3 6 6 and 6. If 2 7 4, 6, and 3, that makes it 5, 5. Deli can play 5, 1, 7, 5 in 6, making it 6, 4, and 2, 2, 7, 6 only flips back one card at the end. So 5, 5. If Deli's up 6, 4 and Akiyama goes 6, he cannot win. Deli can block 3, and as long as he can do so without comboing, he can't possibly be in trouble. Yeah, he's definitely not in trouble there. And if Akiyama starts in 9, if he starts with 2, 7, 4, 6, then he doesn't capture anything and he loses to something in 3. So he should start with 2, 2, 7, 6, and 9, making it 5, 5. And then Deli could play 4, 3, 6, 6, and 6, and he'd win. So, and I think this is what we're about to see. We're about to see the tie line. This game went 3, 7, 4, 4, and 4, 4, 6, 5, 4, and 8, 7, 5, 2, 5, and 5. We're about to see 5, 5, 2, 7, and 2. And then we're going to see 2, 7, 4, 6, and 3. I can probably start typing it in already. And then we'll see 5, 1, 7, 5 in 6. And yet another tie, which is, of course, the most likely result when two top players play. Alright, I'm gonna... we should let this game finish. But, Game 6, another just looks like a well-played tie to me. I like the move in 5. I think often in these Ls, like, often beginners play in 5 to, like, take things and get in trouble. But playing in 5 to block the square 5 or use it for other purposes is often where actually ties are. Like, 5 is a really often square where ties are against an L that is a little dangerous for you. But it's like, it's one of those moves, it's like capturing a corner starter. When you start in the game, you don't understand that, like, safety matters rather than capturing. So capturing corner starters is really appealing because you're like, yes, I flipped something, I'm up 6-4, you know, or just like you don't know what to do if you're not capturing. The only thing that like makes sense as something to do to you is to capture stuff. So I did get the rest of the move order right, nice. So you capture their corner starter, and as you get better, you realize, hey, that gives them an easy lock-in. I want to be doing other stuff, right? This is not what I should be doing with my turn. And you start finding reasons to do other things. You don't only know to capture, so you can find other moves. But then eventually, you come around to like capturing corner starters is actually very good. Now, this trajectory doesn't quite work the way I'm saying it because capturing corner starters in no rules is still pretty bad, and most people start on no rules. So, you know, it doesn't quite swing around fully, but there is these stages you go through where you capture corner starters, then you never capture corner starters, and then you start capturing corner starters again. And I feel like this is a kind of similar thing with Ls. Like, you see Ls and you just play 5 because that's the square that interacts with stuff. That's the square that takes stuff. And then you start finding reasons to play other squares. Maybe you find fancy setups in like 6. Maybe you grab safety in 9. Maybe you lock in a card in 2 and force them to play 5. And maybe you're still playing some 5s. Maybe you find the fun move in 1, though I never seem to find those. Maybe you're still playing some 5s, but like you've really branched out. You've recognized 5 is not where the answer is likely to be. But at some point, it turns out that just in the more dangerous positions, often the save is 5. That often the key is just going to be they have set up 5, or 5 is a more useful square for them than you, and you're not blocking 5. You're not playing in 5 to flip things. You are blocking 5. You are not using 5. Like, and this is sort of similar to dealing with a corner starter. It's not that you are taking a card. It's not that like this card does this. It's you are getting rid of a square, or there is a complementary square. Say a starter in 1, you take from 2. This complementary square is 4 that you have active play against. The reasoning really changes, and the moves can look similar, but the type of play is really different. And yeah, when in danger, when like you're somewhat behind against an L, like you've evaluated it as, or like your inklings are things aren't working great, often blocking 5 is the clearest path to a tie. And we got to be able to defend some ties. So okay, it's only been a 10-minute video. I did a lot of pausing, and they are continuing tomorrow. Phew, I don't have to kill my voice anymore. Mission accomplished for all of us. Good games, enjoyed watching them, and we'll probably catch more tomorrow. Congrats to Delial on his lead. Akiyama still very much in with a chance, and yeah, been really tough games. I think Game 2 was so fun. You should go check that out. The move in 2 was crazy. Game 1 also pretty fun. Game 5 really good. Check that one out. Very good series. One of the really good matches of the year for sure. Especially because I didn't catch any or barely any of the other semifinal, so we get to revel in this one more.